critical metamorphosis from the traditional status quo, and probably change the narrative. You understand? There's been a clarion call for a third force party.
Yes,
now, what would a third force party change the fortunes? How would that change the fortunes of Ghana's economic evolution?
I mean, you mentioned Peter Obi, and I'm very grateful to that guy. He told where there is no route, this man has paved a route there. And I tell you, Peter Obi is doing very well. He has done very well. Look at the overnight. Look at he turned the fortunes of Nigerian politics. People are now recognizing that somebody else must come in. The same problem is what we have in Ghana. We are working.
But are we really ready for a kind of Peter Obi of change?
Of course, yes.
Because the youth are clamoring after him, and he has a. But I mean, we've had situations where we've had the CPP and other parties that have presented themselves for elections, and the results has not been that so encouraging. Which is an indication, interpretation of Ghanaians not ready to accept, a very resolute, third force party.
I think I'll come in here. Ghanaians are ready to accept other political parties, provided we are united. And that is what we are working at. That is my party, CPP, and another third party. I'll give you the name. PNC, People's National Convention, Progressive People's Party, which I stand for, Convention People's Party, and other new political parties that have come into the fray. We are actively working very hard, including myself here in Europe, and our brothers and sisters in Ghana. We are working very hard. And just watch this space. 2024 is far away from today. So I know NDC and MPP, they are going for their leaders and all that. We are not looking at them. We are looking at our own organization.
All right.
Our organization is coming out with a bang to introduce ourselves as one united party to fight the elections, Ghanaian elections come 2024.
All right. Okay. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue.
Okay.
Yo, Ghana for you want English approach my moha. Ya sweady. Yenya emrenim fo a won akwadare wo emrenimo a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer fo entimi nuanom momyem for immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo Fortwell solicitors emrenimo akuku drofo se watna ha che ombebua wo ma wonsa kan won krata na se wedi edro nso a eyom kokokra eba ni nipa sitina mu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudim akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de ni kan wo mu mponi se no consultation fee.
Fortwell solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday be also your Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, John Sewa, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikadiya Basa, is not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with John Sewa.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio.
Yes, we're back again, and we're back after the commercial break, and this Global Issues, a platform where we talk about serious issues with serious people, and the time is exactly 38 minutes after the hour of 8, and I still have Mr. Kit Yosin, chairman of the Progressive People's Party, in the studios, and we're discussing the menace, the troubling, traumatic, diabolical menace of, illegal mining in Ghana. Yeah, Mr. Yosin, before we went to the break, you were making submission. You can go on.
Oh, thank you very much. You were talking of a third force.
Yeah.
The third force is just in the offing. It's there. We, the PNC, People's National Convention, Progressive People's Party, and also Convention People's Party. It's just a matter of time. A few weeks' time, we are coming out openly. For Ghanaians to realize that we are here. Nkrumah's children, we are coming. What is missing in Ghana is Nkrumah East, or Kwame Nkrumah's children. We have not been involved. NPP has been our old rivals from day one. That's fine. NDC came in to take our members, our CPP members, and we see where they're going. When Mr. Rollins came in, he took the opportunity to take our members, the CPP, forward. It's fine. They are not two major parties, but we are coming back. And we are coming back to fight the 2024 general elections.
All right. Okay. I think probably we might go a little bit deep into that when the second segment, because we were talking about the second segment, we'll be talking about Ghana's independence and Eastern Kingdom Council. So probably we'll delve a little bit into that third force party. Now, this is a news publication on the City News portal, and this was published on October the 2nd, 2020, and it's captioned, Chiefs, DCAs, and others to be blamed for worsening Galamsey in Ghana, Lands Minister. Now, it reads that the Minister for Lands and National Resources, Samuel Abdullahi Jinapur, is blaming District Security Council's Ministry, Mineral Commission officials, and regional authorities for the worsening state of illegal mining in the country. Now, according to him, irrespective of enforcement efforts by the government, the Galamsey situation will not improve if mining communities do not help authorities in addressing the menace. Now, the problem I have with the submission of this publication is the government saying that until the community, obviously, the government has the force, and especially the Minerals Commission. The Minerals Commission, do you think that the Minerals Commission is doing enough in this fight against Galamsey? You understand? And with this DCs, and do you think that they are doing enough?
No, they are not doing enough at all, Solomon. That's what I said by saying Minerals Commission is the Ghana government. It's from the government. District chief executives, metropolitan chief executives, they are all in the administration. And the order from above in Ghana, these are the words they use. Order from above clears everything, cleans every menace or whatever. So the supreme reasons Galamsey has existed for all over 30 years in Ghana is that no Ghana government wants to stop it because they've got a hand in it. They are involved in Galamsey. If you cast your mind back, I think a few years, maybe 5 years ago, what happened? They seized 67 excavators or so And suddenly they all got missing in Ghana, excavators, which have been imported for the purposes of Galamsey. The government attempted to seize them. And what happened? A minister, rather even who sees those excavators, gave some to his own son to be using it. If you go to Ashanti region and you was Siaku, Mr. Captain or Mr. Wood to me in Ashanti region, MPP, one of the supremos in Ashanti region, that's the business he does. He's a multi-billionaire there. You do understand?
Yeah.
And now they say they are licensed small-scale miners. All these things must be abolished in the name of God. Abolish this small-scale mining. It's I'm saying, no matter what you call it, it's a dangerous game they are playing. Ghana government after government. There's so many governments, you know. NDC has been there, MPP has been there for 21 years. NDC has been there for 26 years. Government after government, they are doing the same thing. I said they must abolish this through
but there's been this outcry. There's been this outcry that all politicians are liars. So irrespective of whether there's a change of government, the politicians speak the same language. They sing the same. They sing the same song sheet. So what is the guarantee that? I mean, there is vituperating we are vituperating the NDC and the MPP of failing in the quest of ameliorating or exterminating this incessant, issue of Galamsey. All right, now. The belief is that politicians are the same. They speak the same, language and sing from the same song sheet. Now, what will a Telford party or any other political establishment, change from the status quo? Because technically, politicians are all liars. I mean, obviously, that's what is believed by the general public.
Yes, I would not disagree. But what I would like to tell you is that my party takes a different view of that. We are from Nkrumah's, we are Nkrumah's children. Kwame Nkrumah wouldn't have tolerated Galamsey for 1 week. You know why? Because anybody who indulges in that would have gone to his own prisons, his home, where you would never see the sunshine until you are released. I saw that. I've seen that. I've seen somebody who's been there before. He was called Justice Koi Labi. He was taken to his own prisons. He never saw the sun until the 1966 military coup d'etat. When he came, he couldn't even look at the sun. I remember, I went there, I saw that man. His testimony. Kwame Nkrumah would have put you straight away into his home if you are arrested for doing Galamsey. There's no hard and fast rule in Ghana because money comes from all corners, and people who indulge in Galamsey, they fund political parties for their political activities. But we are coming to change the trend. That's why I prefer Mr. Peter Obi of Nigeria, his experience. He defies all the rules and is going his own way. Look at how he is succeeding. We are coming to do a totally different thing because we are not quiet for nothing. CPP has been removed long ago, for years. I think 66 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that time we were all kids, most of us were all kids and all that. Now we are grown and overgrown and we see the same order. So what we are going to do is to complete the job which Nkrumah started, and it was truncated on 24th February 1966. Nkrumah would not allow Ghana land to be destroyed. Go to Tapa, go to Pristia, Western region. They've dug everything. So many places. They spoiled our water bodies, and I tell you what, the water bodies that have just destroyed the river.
Yeah, they use very illegal chemicals in purifying the cyanide and other chemicals.
You're quite right. In central region, it affected so many pregnant women who drink from that water thinking that is now okay. And they get delivered of their babies with deformity. Some have no legs, some have no hands and all that. It's incredible. But yet we are doing that. We have religious people in Ghana. Nobody is telling the people, the congregation, to stop this job. We have a president in Ghana. He doesn't care. We have cabinet ministers in Ghana. They do not care either. We have kings and queens, small and big ones. They don't care.
Yeah, but the issue is that, I mean, just the way you were speaking, with, lavish promises, this was the same. We've had that since 1992. I mean, we have platforms where politicians mount and they sing songs of liberation. They sing, and they lavish us with all sorts of promises, sugar-coated promises and things like that. They get into power and they change overnight. So, so what is the guarantee? But before we go to that, I want us to look at this issue. It says during the week of the 6th June 2013, Ghana's police force arrested 168 Chinese nationals suspected of working in the country's informal gold mining sector. That's Galamsey. Now, the vast majority of detainees were in possession of expired visas and work permits. Others, however, had no identification documents at all, now let alone valid entry visas. Now in Ghana, the number of Chinese citizens involved in illegal gold mining activity has risen sharply in recent years. Reports suggest that since 2005, as many as 50,000 gold prospectors have left China for Ghana. Now, how concerned should we be, with this kind of revelation that, we have people, these Chinese people, the exodus of these Chinese people coming to Ghana in order to find that treasure hunt for gold at the expense of our socioeconomic well-being and sanity, political sanity.
Yeah, it looks like a testimony having come through, because when I was growing up, the Chinese were in Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah or Sajifo Nkrumah saw in the Chinese what Ikufuadu, Buzia, J.B. Dankwa, Obeche Lamte did not see. But Nkrumah saw something in the Chinese people and in the Russians, which NPP, they used to call themselves UP, United Party, they never saw. They chastised
Dankwa Jumbo,
tradition. They never saw. They never saw what Nkrumah saw in the Chinese people, and of course in the Russians. You know what happened? Nkrumah took Ghanaians into China. One guy is from Volta region. Took him there to study. NPP accused Nkrumah of going communists. And that guy, it's from Volta region. I've got his book at home. He ran away from China in those days, in the 60s, because he was not very comfortable. It seems he was not very well welcomed. He ran away into USA and he wrote a book called An African Student in China. He's from Volta region. I hope he's still alive. An African student in China. The days when Nkrumah went to China, NPP cursed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
You mean the UP government there?
The UP, yes.
And the Buzia. And the Buzia's government.
Yeah, Buzia, JP Danko, they all the same. SD Dombo, they all the same. They cursed Kwame Nkrumah for going Chinese. Today, I thank God that NPP, as a political party, has even got an office in Beijing, used to be called Peking. They've got a headquarters and an office in Chinese. The stone that the builders ejected is now a cornerstone. But Kwame Nkrumah went there, they cursed him, and now even a Chinese girl is now a lord in Ghana. It's a Galamsey queen in Ghana.
But don't you think that this debacle of Chinese people gradually, becoming some sort of an hegemonic hold on the political status quo of our country, to the extent that right now there is rumors. I mean, I don't know. I stand for correction. That they are demanding for the Accra International, Kotoka International Airport, and as some sort of a discussion, a discussion denominator because to negotiate the debts that we have. You understand? And I mean, subsequently, there are other aspects that we are indebted to the Chinese for. Now, don't we have to be very very circumspect? Is it that we have leaders who technically don't have foresight, or is it that we have people in governance who are just not concerned about the well-being and the future of Ghana?
Of course they are not. I mean, it's a confused government. NPP is a confused political party, or confused in governance as well.
Will you then say the Ghanaians are confused? Because it's the Ghanaians who voted the NPP into power.
No, I wouldn't say that, because they were ignorant. Those who voted.
But that's the second term of the NPP,
isn't it? Continued ignorance, is very blissful.
And within the 30-something years since 1992, I mean, the NPP and the NDC have equal terms. I mean, under I think the NDC and the NPP, we had the Kufuor administration and the Kufuor administration.
I'm going to mention, I tell you what, NPP, together with the Kufuor government now, they have ruled Ghana for 21 years. Assuming Kufuor will finish his second term, for 21 years. NDC and PNDC, they are the same. They have ruled Ghana for 26 years. And military rules, National Redemption Council and Supreme Military Council, 7.5 years. And PNP and Dr. Liman, 2.5 years. All 57 years. And Nkrumah was removed 57 years ago. I've accounted for everything here. You know that. Nkrumah ruled us for only 9 years. Look at the things he did. The whole Tama Township, the whole Akusembo Dam, the hydroelectric project in Nkrumah did. The universities he put in place, Cape Coast, Nkrumah University of Science and Tech, there are about over 100 to almost 200 secondary schools in Nkrumah put in place. What has NPP done? Nothing compared to what Nkrumah did. Nkrumah did it in 9 years. And look at that, NPP 21 years, NDC 26 years. You see where we are going. Yeah. And we are the children of Nkrumah. We are coming back, that's what I'm telling you.
Let's quickly look at this publication that was on polls.com Ghana, and this was published, I think, the 23rd of April, 2021, and its headline, "I will do everything to end Galamsey in the second term, Akufo-Addo." Now, he talks about the fact, he said that during the visit by the Ochihene, Osajifo Amotio for opinion, and other leaders of the Achim Ebuakwa Traditional Council at the Jubilee House, which was a Friday, Akufo-Addo promised to put in efforts to make sure the country's gold and water bodies are preserved for the generation. Now, I mean, this is not the first time we've been hearing about all these. And I mean, now, why is it difficult? Why has it become quite a difficulty in trying to, because there's been the argument that Akufo-Addo is giving so many promises, and some people have tagged him a liar, and why? Do you think that, let me put it this way, do you think that something has to be done, vis-a-vis the Constitution, that when a sitting president fails to deliver, you understand, there should be some sort of an impeachment, in respect of his inability to fulfill his ministerial promises?
You've hit the nail right on the head, but unfortunately, because one, we are Africans. Two, we never learn. Number three, we are not civilized.
So how long will this continue, Mr. Solomon? I mean, we are in the 21st century, where very soon, I mean, people like Elon Musk they're about discovering Mars, where people there's going to be life. And we live in a new age where cars and trains are automated. And is it that we as Africans are still in the Stone Age, or we just don't want land to change and probably progress with all the education that we have?
You make me very sad and very worried and very disturbed, because not too long ago, we, of course, as Africans, were labeled by the entire world to be underdeveloped countries, if you remember. We used to be called or labeled as underdeveloped countries. And Nkrumah was not happy. He was the only greatest African who would speak and the United Nations will listen. All leaders of the world, even Nikita Khrushchev, that Hammarskjöld, the American president and the Russian president will listen to Kwame Nkrumah and not anybody else, because he was the greatest and the first. Nkrumah changed and listened, do not call us underdeveloped countries. And that upon agreement with the United Nations, they now call us developing countries. Nkrumah was he was mad at we being described as underdeveloped. Now, Ghana, they are going back to underdeveloped countries.
But we need very proactive and stringent measures, not mere rhetorics. I mean, whether developing or undeveloped countries, it still doesn't change anything. And besides, I mean, it's just a reflection. It's a reflection of what actually is existing. You understand? So it's not a sieve. It's not really a sieve. That it's a kind of a way that the West is lambasting the Ghana or the Africa as being underdeveloped. I mean, everything that we do shows that. I mean, we are underdeveloped. So I don't think that there's any form of argument here. But the point is that these rhetorics, I mean, these rhetorics does not change anything. You understand?
In fact, excuse me, you're sorry to come in. It's not a rhetoric. That's what I made sure.
Just a minute. I mean, at 9, the system will shut down, then reset itself in the next I think another 3 minutes, then we'll resume again. So it's just information for those who are listening. Yeah, Mr. Joseph.
You know what I mean? So what I've said, not every Ghanaian or African knows what I'm saying. That we were called underdeveloped countries.
Okay. Yeah, I think the system is going to go off. So, all right.
A developing country. That man,
it's gone off. So it has to, at night goes off, it resets itself again for about 3 minutes, then come on air again.
If it doesn't, I'll put that one because it's a lot. Sometimes when I talk, people make notes. I didn't know.
Oh, really?
People are telling me.
Okay.
Let me say, I don't know what you're saying. Never heard it before. I'm telling you, it's true. Check it out. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's sorry.
Because
Yes, we're back to the second segment of the second segment of the program, and this is Global Issues, the platform where we discuss serious issues with serious people. The time is exactly 3 minutes after the hour of 9, and we're just going to quickly wrap up on the issue of Galamsey, and the second segment was going to be about our independence, the walk from the journey from 1957 till now. I mean, do we have anything that we should be probably proud of as a country, or we still probably have to go back to the drawing board and review certain things that I believe that we've not had it right over the period of time that we've existed as an independent, state. Yeah, so Mr. Johnson, we quickly going to wrap up on the Galamsey issue, and what do you think is the way forward before we go to?
I believe that the way forward is to get a serious and sensible and wise leader, a president or a cabinet minister in government today, to make sure that we got a legislation that makes anyone imprisonable for at least 20 or even 30 years. If you venture down, say, you see that everybody will stop.
Do you think that we are having a leadership drought in Africa? Because when you look at, the compilation of leaders we had during our era for the struggle for self-determination, Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Toure, these people were nationalists, very forthright in their thinking, visionaries. Now, fast forward, post-independence, it seems that we don't have the leaders we have. It's a far cry from those great leaders. What is really the problem with African leadership at this point in time? Quickly, so that we
because the leaders lack vision. Our African leaders lack vision.
Is it because we don't want to? Because they don't want to? Because, the irony of these, some of these people are very, very highly educated. Oxford, Cambridge, Columbia University, and it goes on and on, Morehouse, and it goes on and on, Harvard, and they studied, and so...
these are great things, but if you look at it from the beginning, the down to earth one, the point is that you only need one person to take a stand. Other people will follow. It's not everybody who is born a leader. We had one singular leader, like Kwame Nkrumah. I have always likened that man's story, his story, to that of Jesus Christ, our Lord. I've likened his story to that of Jesus Christ. Because when Nkrumah came, before Nkrumah, there were politicians, there were big guys. There were J.B. Dankwa, Ekufuado's father,
Edward
Ekufuado's father.
Power Grant and Grant.
They were leaders in the United Gold Coast Convention. They brought this man Nkrumah from London, from USA. Akwaje, the lawyer. He recommended him that guy would be a good guy. That guy would be a good guy for the Gold Coast. So bring him. He had no money. He was loitering around campaigning in Trafalgar Square in London, central London, for freedom for Africa. He was the only man who was thinking about Africa, not just Ghana. Then Ghana was just peanut. Look at all the nations of Africa. Apartheid in South Africa. He even had to break diplomatic relationship with Britain because of Mandela in South Africa. He was thinking about the whole continent of Africa, but people didn't understand.
The question is, why has it been difficult? Nkrumah has been dead since 1972.
Yes.
Why has it been difficult for destiny to smile on us to bring us another Nkrumah?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. That Nkrumah's story is like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has been dead over 2,000 years. Why are we still calling his name? Same thing. Similarities and differences. You see? But those who don't understand think, it's blasphemous and all that. I'm not blaspheming. I'm telling the truth. But African doesn't want the truth. What I'm saying, Nkrumah had all these 9 years to begin with. The day we took independence, he lifted his arms up at polo grounds in Accra. I know you were not born at that time. but at least I was born on that day. And I saw. Kwame Nkrumah lifted his hand. He said, the black man is capable of running his own affairs. Leave us. We are capable of running. It is true. I'm capable of running my own affairs. I've been in the kingdom for donkey's years. But no white man is running my affairs. I'm capable of running my own affairs.
But Mr. Yosen, the question here, we are witnesses of what Ian Smith said, that if you give the black man 1,000 years, he will be not able to run to what to manage. You understand? To manage himself. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, people were very, very. They blatantly cast him that. I mean, that was a very racist statement.
No.
I mean, after many years, it's like after many years, it's like history is trying to vindicate Ian Smith in 1964.
I remember when Mr. Ian Smith, may he rest in peace, he made that.
The Governor General of Southern Rotation, which is Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe
was
now.
A Scottish guy who wanted to settle in Rhodesia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today's Zimbabwe. He made a perfect submission. That statement, I remember, I always chastised him, I was a kid, but I hated him for that. He said that in 1965, if I'm correct.
64.
Yeah. Okay, I'm close. You know what I mean? He said I hated him for his guts and all that. But Mr. Smith, Ian Smith, was right. And Kwame Nkrumah was also right that the black man is capable of running his own affairs. The problem of Africa, or the black man, is that we no longer have a role model. And Nkrumah was the only role model for black people all over the world. I attended a meeting in Birmingham, students' meeting, Afro-Caribbean meeting in the students' union, and I said, there's no black country that can manage itself. I said that. I made that statement.
Yeah, but I mean, yesterday marked, if not mistaken, 1957 to now. I think that's 66 years, if I'm not.
Absolutely.
Ghana since 1957 was a remarkable, day, earmarking a new age in Ghana's political, birth. Sure. That we became independent. In 1924 February 1966, Nkrumah was overthrown, who technically was the first president of Ghana, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
We say that the wars of Ghana began 24th of February 1966, and since then we've not been able, you understand, to solve that issue, because I mean there are every evidence that the political fortunes that steal because it's the bedrock of Ghana's existence is the legacy of Nkrumah, the Akosombo hydro dam, and a host of others that Nkrumah built. It's still the Tema motorway and a host of other his industries and things that he built, and still these are legacies or relics that history will vindicate him as being, if not the greatest African leader. Now, so 1966, you understand, when he was thrown by the NLC led by Oketije Kwame Akwesi Afrifa, and Kotoka. It's believed that Afrifa masterminded the whole coup. Yeah, but I mean, whatever it is, I mean, obviously, but it's believed that, Afrifa masterminded the coup. But whatever the case may be, in 1966, 24 February 1966, Nkrumah was ousted when he was in, I think, in Vietnam.
In China.
In China. Okay. Now, would you say that was the day that Ghana's war started?
Yes, I would say so. Because Kwame Nkrumah as a leader was a powerful leader. He was selfless. He was not a selfish person. He did not have a private house. He did not have a private car. He said his home was Flagstaff House, which today is a Jubilee House. And he led by example. The only house he had was in Yaniba Estate in Labone. That is the mother. It's a council flat. He converted it for the blind mother. Okay, that's why we have Yaniba Estate in Ghana or in Accra. But Nkrumah was focused on repairing Ghana because when our colonial masters left, the British government left us in the Gold Coast. Nkrumah had a plan in his pocket. He had a plan.
Yeah, but people saw him as what? A tyrant.
Oh, God.
You understand?
Yeah,
because,
yeah,
I mean, 1958, he promulgated the Preventive Detention Act, where people like K. Bedema and, you know, these, I mean, he's one of his right-hand man who was K. Bedema, J.B. Dankwa and other people were arrested, you understand, and detained unlawfully. They were unlawfully. I would land. They were arrested and detained unlawfully. You understand, without any due process of law, in the, which obviously would adjudicate their case. And these were people that were languishing in jail. Now, I mean, he had also retired some key members of the military, like General Ankara, and a host of other people. And these were iconic figures in the military that the military so much respected. You understand? These are some of the arguments that history has that actually sparked the 1966 coup. That's why the military, the NLC, ousted Nkrumah. All right. So one of the videos I watched, General Ankara referred to Nkrumah as a useless leader. I mean, obviously, he would have personal sentiments with, but they described Nkrumah as a tyrant. You understand?
Yeah, you saw that.
Now,
you saw that. All these
they saw Nkrumah as a tyrant. You understand? Now, today, Akufo-Addo is all referred to as a tyrant. Do you think that kind of tyranny runs in the political DNA of Ghana, where we profess to be a democratic state, but still, that is quite in the sharp contrast with what we understand as democracy? And in the first place, do we really understand the ideology of democracy?
Okay, if you have landed, I would explain for listeners to understand and appreciate as well. I'm glad that you said the things you have said. Nkrumah had a plan before he came from the United States of America to Ghana. The time he was studying in the USA as a political science student, got engaged.
In Pennsylvania University.
Yeah, got engaged with Dr. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, F.W. Du Bois, George Padmore, all these important black Americans and West Indians. He was, in fact, Marcus Garvey of Jamaica was his man. He had a black star. That's why we have got black star. Kwame Nkrumah took black star, the words, from Marcus Garvey, the West Indian leader, black leader. But those days, he was in the United States of America. He had to contend with black Americans who were being killed like dogs in the USA. Civil rights leaders and all that. Louis Farrakhan was a boy, but now he's one of the stalwarts in the USA today. Well, fast forward, Nkrumah, before he left the Gold Coast, he had a plan. He knew, he had the knowledge. Fanti Confederacy, the Fanti chiefs in the Gold Coast, they got the British governor, sat him down, talked, and they signed the bond of 1844. That means 100 years' time, the white man will leave the shores of the Gold Coast, which is now Ghana. 100 years' time. 6 March 1844. That is why our independence was dated 6 March. Nkrumah selected the date, 6 March 1957. And the bond of 1844 was signed on 6 March 1844.
Under Commander George McLean.
Yeah. So then they gave the white people, the British rulers, 100 years to leave Gold Coast. Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast after studying in the U.S. In 1947. At the time he came, the white man was still there. And in fact, he was he invited from UK to come and work with the United Gold Coast Convention. So when he came, his argument was that he told Park Grant, J.B. Dankwa, all the big guys in there, that, look, the white people must go. They have overstayed their visa by 3 years at that time. 1944, they should have left Ghana. Gold Coast, they were still there. So 1947, Nkrumah said, oh, 3 years. Today, if a Ghanaian comes to London and they give him 6 months and his visa is expired, what happens? He's deported. He is deported. Yes, but in the case of Nkrumah, the people say, oh, naturally, be patient. They were telling Nkrumah, and Nkrumah couldn't have it. And through that, a lot of arguments and all that, 1949, he left, and they said he was a poor man. He left to form the CPP. That was the story. It's just like Joseph's story in the Bible, in the Holy Bible.
But do you think that our independence was quite premature?
I
mean,
necessary.
Because there are the naysayers who said that the British should have stayed a little bit longer because probably that would have changed the political fortunes of Ghana.
You're right. You make me miss some salient point which Ghanaians don't know, or some of our brothers don't know. Whatever happened, and the British government agreed that we should have independence. You know what Mr. Busia and co, the United UP people, MP people did? They sent the delegation to the Queen Elizabeth to tell the Queen Elizabeth that Gold Coast was not ready for independence. We were not ready for independence. When even the British government has agreed in the Parliament, Act of Parliament, that they will give us, grant us our independence in 1957, Busia and co, J.B. Dankwa and whatnot, they sent the emissaries to the UK to say we are not ready for independence.
But do you think that? Do you think that history probably might have vindicated them because probably they saw something that the others did not see, that our independence was quite premature?
Oh no, sir. I mean, white man ruled us for 100 years is a hell of a lot. You know what I mean? Even
but were we ready, or we just wanted independence? Were we ready to?
Yeah, listen, if a boy, a gentleman, you are 18, 19, 20, you are ready to marry. Your mother will marry for you. You have to decide that you.
Yeah, but you have to be matured in order to be, and I mean financially sound.
That's true.
At that point in time.
Yeah, because of the slave trade. It had serious effect on us. Slave trade. They took our own people through Cape Coast seaport as slaves in the United States of America. That slavery tag is a serious one. It can even affect you for 500 years.
Yeah, but Mr. Yosen, the slavery has been over 200 years, and we keep on trying to retrace our steps to slavery whilst the world has moved on. I mean, quoting the words of Pierre Lumumba, it's like Africans always want to have somebody to always point accusing fingers at that.
You understand? It's a schoolboy of Common Nkrumah.
Yeah, but his argument is that we are not ready to move on. The slavery has been dead and gone years ago.
What I'm saying, the background is that the foundation of the situation of the black person, not just Ghana, is that the slavery has affected us a lot. Slavery has affected us a lot.
In what way?
Thank you. They took a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, Zimbabwean, and all that, put them together in a ship, and when they went to USA, they grouped them. So you can't even speak Ga. You have no one to speak Ga to, or Fanti to, or Ashanti to. You know what I mean? But they went through hard realities of life. So when Nkrumah went there, he's also a student who knows the slave trade business history. So he learned a lot. So before he came to Africa, he had a plan in his hand. And thank God for him. He had a plan. Nkrumah devised a 7-year development plan. Immediately, he said, he roll up our slaves, get down to work. He has no time to stop to think. And in fact, he was moving his people. He was leading them, motivating them to go on. And they were doing big things. Georgesburg left us the railway, the triangular railway. Yeah?
And,
In
the
Nkrumah,
Kolebo Hospital, and then
yes, we come to
the
that.
college,
You see, yeah.
the College of Prince Wales of
The
College.
Ghana, yeah. You see, the Ghana railway line which we have, it was designed by the Englishman from Kumasi
Yes,
to
it-
Takoradi to
Takoradi,
Accra.
yeah, to
So
Accra.
they take our gold and timber to Takoradi port. That time there was no timber port
Yeah.
to take it outside. That's fine. But they did not love us. If they loved us, yeah, there would have been train stations in upper region, upper west, upper east, and all that. Sinyani and all that, Volta region. You know what I mean? So when Nkrumah came, he saw that as a leader of government business, he initiated the Achasi Kotoku railway line, a few kilometers. He was the only one who continued the British railway system. This is fine. But if Nkrumah put structures in place immediately, as I said to you, okay? But excuse me, sir. So he put structures in place that had he lived beyond 1966, definitely we would have a railway station in Tamale and all over the places, as an example. He started development in 9 years. What has NPP done in 21 years? What has NDC done in 26 years? It's all here, documented. I've got everything here. You see what I mean? Nkrumah did in 9 years. What Nkrumah did in 9 years, these two parties together cannot do anything. 57 years, they are doing nothing.
Do you think that if we should go back and try to interpret, the plan, the economic 10-year development plan by Nkrumah, or 7-year development, seven. But I think later he changed it to 10 years, or I think so. But I stand for correction.
Because it had wider plans.
Wider plans. Okay. Now
Developmental.
let's say that we, as a country, revert back to Nkrumah's plan.
Sure.
How would that change our economic situation now?
Thank you very much.
It's still when we still have not, emancipated our minds of, the decadence. The decadence of corruption, the decadence of non-accountability, the decadence of the misconstrued, conceptualization of democracy.
Thank you. Before I start, I will tell you that the ideas Nkrumah had were bigger than himself. He had a foresight. When we took independence, you know what? All studies were in the United Kingdom only. Expensive. Now that we were independent, Nkrumah went through a non-alignment policy. He went to the east, to Russia, to the Chinese, to Poland, to Czechoslovakia, to Hungary. Introduced black students and Ghanaian students there. Whether you are MPP kid, CPP kid, he didn't give a damn. So many people went there.
Ukraine, I think so.
Not just Ukraine, they want to see USSR,
Yes, sir.
Russia,
the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my brothers studied medicine, so they were located in Ukraine, Kharkov University, Ukraine. Now they call it Kharkiv and stuff like that. My brother studied there. He did medicine there. If you know one doctor, Dr. Kaiko in Tema, he was their leader. He was my brother's senior. Okay, in Kharkov University. But I tell you a side history in Ukraine. Ukraine, that area where they took the black students was a radioactive area. So most of the students who stayed there have all died, including my own brother. He died in, God knows, maybe 2006. And all other Ghanaian doctors died one after the other.
Because of the radioactive mutations.
Yes, that's right. Ghana government has not even got the brains to have investigated that amount of deaths. But Ghanaian students, Ghanaian medical doctors and all that, they all studying that kind of area. If it was a British student, they would have found out and take compensation for their families. Up to now, my family hasn't got a penny. They died for free. But at least Nkrumah took Ghanaians there to Eastern Bloc. And you know what? Dr. Buzia himself was condemning Ghanaian students trained in the Soviet Union, medical doctors there. When Kolemu teaching hospital had just started. For political experience, he was condemning made in Russia Ghanaian doctors. Are you sure Ghanaian doctors were useless? Kaiko treated thousands of Ghanaians in Tama. Russians go to space. Has Ghana gone anywhere? No. Yes, Buzia, their leader, condemned the Soviet-trained students. Do you think that was right?
Yeah, but the question that I have there's this question looming in my mind that the reason why Nkrumah was successful was that he leaned, to the Eastern Bloc countries, and he believed in socialist ideals, and that's what made him. That was what defined his theological, philosophical, political philosophy. You understand? And for that reason, that made him successful. Now, does that mean that if probably we had followed toward the line of socialism, Ghana would have been better? Because it was through socialism that Nkrumah built the foundation on which today Ghana exists.
Look,
but
I think
unfortunately, communism.
No, let me make a statement that wait until I finish my book. Yesterday, I heard something. Most people live in Accra in a place called Atomic
Junction, is it?
Yeah, most people even don't know why Atomic. Atomic reactor Nkrumah was building. Nuclear power Nkrumah was creating that. So after the coup, after the military takeover, Americans came to Atomic and removed Atomic Commission. They removed all the equipment back to USA. Nkrumah was create nuclear power.
Nuclear plant.
Plant to give us power for industry and all that. And if it's a world war, we were also in pole position, just like Iran today, just like Russia today. They got it. Nkrumah was going to get it for us. And right now, Americans are in Iran. Why are they there? They are going to plead with them about the nuclear.
But the reason why I'm asking this because. I mean, at independence, they had the likes of Julius Nyerere and all these other people who linked, to the East, socialism. You understand?
Because Nkrumah went there. Because Nkrumah was the first to go there. That's why.
Yeah, but
I
know those people. Yes,
yeah.
But
all of them.
But do you think that we have failed because we did not appreciate the critical ancillaries of democracy? Because it's like we really don't understand democracy because somebody can be in power. I mean, the Constitution says that. Which Constitution? The Constitution is supposed to be technically the transmission unit through which democracy flows. Let me say that. Let me put it that way. Hypothetically. Sure. All right. Now, but we don't seem to understand the nitty-gritties, the basic, fundamental, and the currents of democracy, you understand? And I think that is where our problem is coming. I mean, obviously, the Westminster kind of democracy is one of the finest, if not the finest, in the world. But it works because they understand the ancillaries of the rule of law, separation of powers, but here we don't understand, to that extent. And I think that is our problem. Now, do you also follow the same belief, or you have a different belief in contrast to this? That do we really understand democracy?
Yes, but to be honest with you, our kinship, our royal families in Ghana, they are democratic. That's what I studied and learned. Our royal family, look at, I would say Cape Coast Chief because that's my background. Cape Coast Chief, Ashanti Chief, Tolan now, not whatever chiefs. They are democratic if you watch them.
All right.
Go to the King's Palace, they've got advice.
All right. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll continue.
Akosia na motini seni akoda ya de sese de sa di nsemu Ebusia. Ese dia me pe no. Uyonku na si ho no. Usani mame. Hwe, ya sorry preocupe na fa akora no kona kwagina yaresa. Adan wo wura fise ebisa wo hwi efritwa kunkun mu ana. Samuel nwome di kan etredu no nwotwe di chemu nwotwe no. Eho na bra na so wo ne Philippine for ekokon. Wokọ oba bia no abe ewo humu. Emode to nanim se wokokon na obewu. Asante kotokose se wotu wotwo so a ehimu enu nti sorry preocupe na tutumirika. Na fa akora no kwagina yarehwe. Esanse anoma wo hoye ye monopo. Ma me koso hwe abo ni papi. Wonu ma ti se yimu. Opeme okọ na chi na wasan ababiem. Se de onnam posene kane no. Wonim se oba bia cha adwaye a na osiesie no. Honhum yade ti se obaidi. Honhum attack adayeso basabasa kodanna abrabo na sinitrase ayemhyehyie wo hyehye na adwiregu abrabo mu adeso biada. Wo ba abrochire hayi ya santo apenso. Nanso wo nko a wosia na abu wo hyehye na adwire wo bopa na esane. Sikato wo nsam a na ahye kai na hunu se obiara nu a watumi atumirika esan otwen ho da. Ma wo ho enye hare na wo de na ankoye se abrodwuma a woforobo wieye na afio obeka se wonu no ho. Wonu yade adokotafo entimi ansa no enumpo eno ye ho adwuma. Frema me koso hwe wo ahoma so 0790846991 0790846991 ana 0740580734 0740580734 mame koso hwe ana ye twe no a ye twere botantim Yo Ghana for you want English approach my muha. Ya twedi. Yenye emranimfo a won akwatare wo emranimu a poto kasemu ye kase a lawyer immigration in seminar and got dying one more. Fortwell solicitors, Emranimu kuku draw for. So what's now, Hache? Boa on Saka on Crata. Naswedi a drone swa, a yomokokra, a bunny nipa sitnemu, any a jumamun sendia. Omutim wakotenipa, Omure, the many pepia. Nadia Nika Muponi said, no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. 412 Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. 412 Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswell Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
Opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday Beyonce Young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
Yes, we're back to the studios after the commercial break, and the program is Global Issues, a platform where we talk about politics, economics, and anything that borders on civic development. And we are talking about, we're discussing the Ghana's independence. I mean, yesterday was Ghana's commemoration of Ghana's 66th independence since 1957. The work from independence till to date, and what has been the high and the lows, in our political evolution, and still have Mr. Yorson, chairman of the Progressive People's Party, trying to give us some history, a taste of history, and with coupled with some analysis. So, Mr. Yorson, we're talking about our work from independence up to today. I mean, and the difficulties that we've had to make that stride, that critical stride that will strike that chord, that would change the fortunes of our political, existence or socio-economic progressiveness. Now, it's like we are having quite a difficult time trying to break, that siege. As a country, we are trying to still, have that difficult. It's been 66 years, and the argument that a lot of social scientists, political scientists have is the argument that Ghana, South Korea, Malaysia had independence at the same time. But here we are, they are miles and miles ahead in terms of economy, in terms of their political structure, in terms of the magnitude, the magnitude of progress and advancement. It's so awesome, and it's just unparalleled. Where has Ghana gone wrong?
Thank you very much. When Nkrumah was removed, NPP.
Which was UP. Because
UP.
when you say MPP, a lot of people don't know.
I have to talk to NPP who don't know what their fathers have done. UP, United Party, is the same. United Party were 5 political parties that came united because they could not beat the CPP in Nkrumah's government.
Which is the Convention People's Party.
Convention People's Party. And the reason they hated Nkrumah so much was that J.B. Dankwa's own Achim Abuakwa. Nkrumah put Alhaji Bashiru Kwa, B.E. Kwa Swansea. He later became Attorney General. He's an Nzima man. He stood at J.B. Dankwa's backyard and he beat J.B. Dankwa.
In the Chimabuakwa.
Yes,
where Akufo-Addo also hails from. Because,
yeah, that's right.
Because J.B. Dankwa is his granduncle.
Yeah, and Zimmerman, Zimmerman came to Chimabuakwa there and beat J.B. Dankwa. J.B. Dankwa never won an election.
Yeah, but people would say that it's no story because Nkrumah he also won at I think Ododo.
No, I'm coming to that, please. I beg you, with all respect. And Nzima stood there and beat J.B. Dankwa. All right, the NPP people are bad losers. That's what I'm telling you. And Kwame Nkrumah also was in Accra. Accra CT Nylander gave his seat at Ododo Diodo in Accra.
Yeah.
For somebody from Nzima to come and stand there and win landslide there. Okay? And then Nkrumah, when he was in prison, when Nkrumah was in prison by the British government, they advised Mr. K.A. Gbedema,
who was the ex-finance minister at that time.
Yeah, before that.
Before that,
you know what I mean? He was his Kwame Nkrumah's campaign manager.
A right-hand man. Yeah.
So when Kwame Nkrumah was inside prison, Mr. Dankwa was campaigning for Nkrumah, and the British governor they knew Nkrumah was an impossible operator. So they couldn't kill him, otherwise they would have killed him. They wanted to imprison him forever and ever. Hang on a minute. So they approached K.A. Gbedema that, Mr. Gbedema, why don't you say, they want to give him money, bribe him to stand the election instead of Kwame Nkrumah. He says, no, Nkrumah is my man, I'm campaigning for him. So he stood there. Nkrumah was inside the prison when he won election. There's no Ghanaian who has won election in prison. Do you understand? So what you mentioned, when we had independence, Nkrumah made him the finance minister. That's fine, but in the end he fell out with
Nkrumah
because our currency was British currency, and Nkrumah introduced Ghana cedis. Mr. K.A. Gbedema, as a minister of finance, he was supposed to oversee the banning of the British West African pound sterling, right? So you imagine what these are rumors that the man got a lot of millions and millions of pounds somewhere. So Nkrumah got annoyed. That's why they no longer became friends. But Nkrumah, that man saved Nkrumah. Otherwise, I mean, Nkrumah.
Yeah, but there were other traitors also of the CPP, like Roboduse, who is believed had amounted so much wealth that he believed he even had a bed made of gold, pure gold.
That's a beautiful story. I was in a crowd that I'll tell you what, Roboduse and F.A. Jantwa, they were the people in Ashanti region. Umuri Ghana, he was the person
in the north region.
Yeah. Okay, and Kofi Bako's father, and Kofi Bako, and Mr. Kodobo Chio, and Welbeck, and Welbeck.
Casely Hereford,
and Welbeck. They were in the central region, Casely Hereford, Accra, and Nkrumah put all he selected all the regions. I think about 7 regions as well. He selected people from all there for the cabinet ministry. That's how to rule a nation of different tribes, But for NDC, I beg your pardon, for NPP, they use Achim people mostly in there. Look at the Japan royalties. Is it not headed by Achim people? Why? One not a Frafra man, one not a Fanti man or a Zima man. You see what things are going? Nkrumah had a plan. He had a plan. All that, in fact, NPP had to do was to say, remove Nkrumah, take Nkrumah's 7-year development plan, work with it. Two boxers fight, Solomon, what happens? After they kicking the hell out of each other, the loser goes to greet the winner, thank you, give me a good hiding. But for Africans, we are bad losers. Nkrumah beats them at every election, CPP throughout. That's why they wanted to destroy. But God would not make them succeed to destroy Nkrumah's legacy. Otherwise, they should go and throw away Tama, the whole Tama Township. They should burn the whole place down. Tama Harbour, burn it down. Tama Motorway, burn it down. Akosombo, finish it. KNUST, finish it.
It's believed that
yes,
Ike Kutu Champon, when he overthrew Buzia in 1972,
yes,
the whole idea was that Achampon wanted to bring back Nkrumah because they felt that they had made a mistake. Ghana had made a mistake by overthrowing Nkrumah.
In fact, he was unwell.
All right.
He was unwell.
Yes.
He was unwell.
Yeah. Okay.
As you touched there,
yeah.
He was unwell.
But do you think that let's try to play a bit of mind games here?
Yeah.
That let's say the fortunes, let's say that destiny probably had maybe smiled on us that adventure Nkrumah was in the best of health or well-being and had come back in 1972. You understand, to take over, because it is believed that was because there's history that Ike Kutu Champon was a protege of Nkrumah's ideology.
It is
okay.
True. It is
now,
true.
so let's assume that
yes, that is true.
Nkrumah had been brought back by 1972. Well, things would have changed by now.
I tell you what, before that, the greatest person, military man, was your schoolmate. Who was going to bring Kwame Nkrumah was Atta. John Atta, if I got the name correct.
Oh, yeah. 1960, the aborted coup.
Yeah.
The aborted coup. Yeah.
Okay? From whole Recce squadron. He took the guys.
With your boy.
With your boy.
Major
And Owusu, whatever, Owusu. You know what I mean? He took them from whole Recce squadron. Come on, he said, we are going on an exercise in Accra. But daylight caught up with them, so we dismantled their plans. If they had left early, had gone in the wee, reached Accra by 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., they would have finished at Champon and the rest of it. That's why Kuduka was killed.
Yeah.
But Atta is the greatest and the finest soldier ever to be recruited in the Ghana Armed Forces. You know what? When the coup was abortive, Nkrumah was there. Nkrumah was listening. Those days there was no mobile phone, but Nkrumah knew what was doing.
Operation Guitar Boy.
Operation Guitar Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was in Conakry waiting and listening and hoping and praying. But it was abortive. And when Atta was marched there, he said, yes, I took the decision to overthrow these people. They are not professional soldiers. They are not professional. Kotika and all that, they were not professional soldiers. That's why he wanted to remove them. He's the only bravest soldiers we have ever had in Ghana. Had he succeeded to 67, Nkrumah would have come to Ghana to die.
But it's believed by political historians that there's a level of, there's some, similarities, because 1962 when Ghana had, 1966 when Ghana, 24 February 1966 when Ghana had a coup, Nigeria also had a coup in 1966.
No. Nigeria had it first.
In January. Nigeria had it in January.
You know what Nkrumah said? January, about 15th, 17th January 1966. When Tafawa Balewa and all these leaders, that they were overthrown, most of them killed, Ukotia Bo and all that, they were killed. Nkrumah said, the military can take over, but they have no mandate to rule. Unfortunately, within 3-4 weeks, there was a military takeover in Ghana.
Now, the usual narrative that we always hear when the national anthem is played and they go, they mount the podium and they give their reasons is that there's corruption, the civilians are not managing the system very well. The politicians are failed, and therefore that is the reason why the military has intervened. Do you think at any point in Ghana's political dispensation the military has done Ghana a good service or a disservice in intervening in the constitutional mandate, the constitutional mandate that we have as a constitutionally elected, a constitutionally established country that is thrust in the sacrosanct of democracy. Do you think that the military has done us a good service by intervening, or has done us disservice in intervening in the socio-economic democratization of Ghana? I mean, in 66 we had a coup. All right. In 67 we had an abortive good led by Yeboah and Arthur. 66 we had the Kotoka and under the NLC, the Kotoka and Afrifa, who led the 90s. Then 67 we had Mijata and Yeboah. 1972 we have Kutu and Champo. We had Kutu and Champo in 1972
to clean out Busia.
To clean out Busia. But it is even believed that the real orchestrators of the 1972 coup was what was known as the Jalokope Mafia, which was led by the likes of Captain Kojochikata and a few other people, Major Agbo and those people. But I mean that is the belief. I mean, based on some programs I watched, But again, we had the infamous May 15th by Rawlings, then June 4th, okay, then 31st December 1981. Okay, now Rawlings, yes, the PNDC junta overthrowing Hilary Liman. You understand? Now, you realize that Ghana has had a rather rugged, political journey from 1966 to 1981. Until probably when we had the 1992 constitution, we would say that we had a political, there's been some spasms, political spasms of both, political rule and constitutional rule and political and military junta rule with decrees and things like that. Now, this roller coaster political experience, do you think that it is one of the reasons why our dispensation is still unstable, or we are still staggering as a country?
In fact, that's absolutely true. That's what I'm telling you. It all started when Nkrumah was removed. It all started because when they removed Nkrumah, they should have continued the job, the infrastructures Nkrumah had put in place. Sadly, they destroyed. They came to destroy and never put anything in place.
What do you think they? What do you mean they never put anything in place?
Thank you very much. Musia was a Methodist. Afrifa was a Methodist. I've sat in the same church room with them in Calvary Methodist Church. We used to call Fanti Methodist Church. Adabaka. I never realized that Professor Musia and Afrifa were Methodists. In fact, they're junior Methodists. I said, you're Methodist, you do this? You do this? You come and remove Nkrumah. Continue his work and make it better. They are rather put Ghana down. Yeah, we have Takwa Gold Refinery. Kwame Nkrumah put the gold refinery. I was born in Takwa. Takwa, ABA, where they mine the gold. Across the road to Abosu, there was a gold refinery which Nkrumah built. It was about 90% completed. So that when we dig the gold, we take it there and melt it and make it, turn it to final product before we export for more economic progress for Ghana. We don't even, we killed it off under tutelage of Professor Buzia because he was the administrator or the civilian equivalent of the military takeover. That's fine. Takwa Gold Refinery, they closed it down. Abosu glass factory. That glass factory also just, I think about 3 miles away from Gold Refinery in Takwa. They closed it down. They stopped it. In Sawam Canary, somehow there. Black Star Line shipping, we don't have ship. Even though we can export timber and all that. The timber from Takoradi port to Europe or for Tema, we have to rent a ship from outside Europe. When Nkrumah had 17, 15 ships in Ghana. And Ghana Airways the same thing. A Ghanaian going to Accra today, they give you the price they want. If there's a Ghana Airways, you may pay probably about £300 to go to Accra.
So technically, what you're talking about is political continuity, which is a big problem for our politicking in Ghana. I mean, how do we think we solve this? Because I think that. Yeah. How do we just oppose this rather hydra-headed problem of political continuity and this concept of political bigotry, pro-partisanship? You understand? Ethnocentricity, yes, which are basically these are the millipedes and the maggots that are gradually eating the roots of our politics in Ghana.
Yes, absolutely. This is what I'm saying. We have those students of economics, including myself. We know all these things I'm telling you. All the businesses, Bonsa Type Factory, Kede Matches Factory, Bogatanga Meat Factory, and a whole lot of companies in Nkrumah established. We destroy all of them. Takwa Railways, my backyard. Whenever I go to Ghana, I try to visit my backyard in Takwa. Now, when I go to Takwa, I was looking at everything. There's no longer a railway line there. All the railway lines, they're all they stopped. I found last 2 months, a couple of years ago, I was in Kumasi and asked a nephew who is in his early 30s. I said, have you seen a train before? He says, no. I said, what? This is serious. He's never seen a train in his life. It's a 30-year-old man. Never seen a train, railway. He says, you see from Kumasi, they finish all of it. Not extending it, but we destroy everything. And Buzia said, NPP said they will construct Takoradi to Paga, which is southern Ghana, straight to the north. They have not done it. They have not done it. Okay. You see, so we of the Progressive People's Party, Convention People's Party, People's National Convention, we are going to continue the work which Nkrumah did, which they destroyed. We are going to revive Nkrumah's.
Okay. Well. This has been global issues where we discuss serious issues with serious people. We've been discussing Ghana and the trauma that Ghana is going through with this Galamsey issues, and our second segment we were talking about Guns Gen from independence till now, where the highs and the lows, where we should have to dot the I's and cross the T's. And we've been privileged to have Mr. Kit Yosen, chairman of the Progressive People's Party here, giving us some tutelage and giving us, granting us audience and showing us, helping us to pilgrimage through the highlands of history. Now, this has been Solomon Lartey on Global Issues. Make a date with me every Tuesday evening between 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I talk politics, economics, and anything that borders on civic development. Until next week, God bless and bye.
I'll come again.
But then she slipped into my pocket with my car key. She said, "You've taken me for granted, 'cause I need you wearing these diamonds." And I could say, ooh.